The pig that went to the market. Once there was a family of 5 pigs that lived in a nice little house at the foot of a steep hill. They had been well brought up and were so neat in their ways that they were held up as patterns for all the other pigs in the place. The eldest of these pigs was so much larger than the other that he went by the name of Big Pig. He took the lead in everything, and whenever he spoke, the rest had to toe the mark. They were all very proud of him, I can tell you. One day, Big Pig went to the market dressed up in fine style. He met a great many friends, and while talking with them forgot all about the donkey, which trotted off home, dropping all the vegetables along the road. When the 4 pigs saw the donkey and the empty cart, they felt sure that Big Pig had been killed. They all got into the cart and drove back to find him. They met him on the way, and he had a label on his neck on which were the word Prize Pig. And when he told his brothers what happened, they said it was not worthwhile to grieve over the loss of the vegetables. It was not his fault, and they showed by their actions that they were prouder of him than ever. The pig that stayed at home. This little pig would have liked to go to market with his eldest brother now and then, but there never was any chance. There was a great deal of work to be done in the house, and this pig had to do it. He swept the rooms, made the beds, cooked all the meals, and waited on the table as nicely as anybody. He was as neat as wax and said there was no excuse for anyone's house looking like a pig pen. One day, the home pig sat in the easy chair reading the news when he heard a strange noise at the front door. Someone was trying to get in. Home, Great Black Bear, but was not afraid, for all the doors were locked. When the bear found it could not get in, it went away growling, and the pig was glad and said it was never safe to leave a house alone. There were always bare-faced thieves about on the watch for a chance to steal something. Not only after this pig that stayed at home gave a tea party to which all the friends far and near were invited. There was everything nice to eat and music beside one of the guests spoke a piece, and this little pig sang Home Sweet Home so beautifully that many were moved to tears. Then they looked at their watches and said, "Dear me, I did not think it was so late." And the pigs that stayed at home bade them all good night. At the door, the pig that had roast beef. This pig was a good-natured fellow. He never made any trouble for anyone, but was always ready to help whenever there was a chance. He ran errands, picked up chips, scored the knives, and did whatever he was told. He could fill the tea kettle without spilling a drop on his toes or on the floor, and was the best kind of a nurse. When there was sickness in the house, he tried so hard to please everybody that everybody tried hard to please him, and that is why he had more than his share of roast beef. Some folks like pork and veal, others like lamb and mutton, but this little pig thought there was no meat like roast beef, and a nice juicy slice was his reward for being extra good. One day, when Big Pig had gone to market and the home pig was taking a nap, the roast beef smelled something burning. He looked at in the oven upstairs and down cellar, but found nothing. Then he listened. The chimney was on fire. What should he do? The house might burn down, so he ran and got some salt and threw it into the chimney, and then climbed out of the chimney with a bucket of water, and by the time the fire was out, Big Pig had seen the smoke, and when he came home, he heard the story, and you may be sure that this little pig had all the roast beef he wanted for some time to come. This little pig was very, very naughty. It was really hard work to get along with him. He would not do as he was told, and what is why he got none of the good things that were going. He did not like books and would not go to school, and he was most contrary pig that ever you saw. When he asked to be quiet, he would dance a jig and make all the noise possible, and was never so happy as when playing tricks on other people. He did not dare to act in his way. When Big Pen was around, he knew better than one day the home pig stood on the ladder to fix a vine that grew around the house. When his little pig came along and thought it would be a nice chance to play a good joke, so he ran under the ladder and made it tip over, and the home pig might have broken his neck if it had not been for the roast beef pig who came along just in the nick of time. Of course, he had a nice piece of roast beef given to him, but this naughty little pig had none, and when the pig came home that night, he whipped him severely and sent him to bed without his supper. The pig that cried wee wee all the way home. This fifth little pig was a regular crybaby. It was always in tears. It cried in the morning because it didn't want to get up, and cried at the night because it didn't want to go to bed. There seems to be no way pleasing it. One day, Big Pig said he might go on play out of doors, but he was not to go near Farmer Growler's place, for there were bad boys and a big dog that hated the sight of a pig. But this little pig soon grew tired of playing around the dooryard and wandered off toward Farmer Growler's to see for himself if what Big Pig said was true. He was quite charmed with the place and was admiring the beautiful flowers when a pet monkey jumped on his back and gave him such a fright that he nearly fainted. Then the boys came out with whips and gave the worst beating he ever had, and as if that was not enough, they let the dog loose, and he joined in case, and the poor little pig barely escaped with its life, sick and sore. It cried wee wee all the way home and was so glad to get there that it laughed out of one side of its mouth and cried out of the other. I'm done.